First time I met Miranda.
The first time I saw Angela,
a group of us were going to Austin, and I remember it was like 10 a.m. We got donuts in the car.
Is when she went to my house to pick up Alex to take her to Austin.
Miranda came out with her because Alex had spent the night before with Miranda, and Miranda came out in her pajamas, and
all I remember is opening the door and her leaning out the window and just waving and have the biggest smile on her face, and I was like, who is this?
The first thing I thought when I met Miranda is that her smile is what first hit me, and it just lit up a room.
And I'm really shy, so I was just like...
Mixed with that, she was a little unsure and she was shy, but she was curious and she was leaning in to know more.
And I just had a feeling of like, this person's gonna be like a big impact in my life.
Heard about her week and just her day-to-day life, and then showed up to volleyball games.
She started showing up to my volleyball games, and I saw her in the stands and I was like, oh, that's Angela from Young Life. And I was like, I can't believe she actually like came. Like, nobody comes to watch me, and she came.
And cheered her on and stayed after to give her high fives and just to let her know I was there and I was present and I wanted to know her. And I remember asking her, like, hey Miranda, have you signed up for camp yet, or for Polar Bear? And she would do this with her hands and she would go, oh, yes, I keep meaning to, or I want to so bad, but I need to ask my mom, I need to ask my dad.
Didn't know what Polar Bear was. I was like, what is Polar Bear? I don't understand.
I kept asking her to Polar Bear, and I knew that Polar Bear would be life-changing.
And I didn't know if I could go, and I didn't know if I actually wanted to go, because again, I'm shy and I don't like being around people I don't know. But then all my friends are going, so I was like, okay, I guess I'll go.
I'll let you know soon. And then I would shoot her a text a few days later, like, hey, have you signed up yet? And she would say, not yet, but I want to. So it's just a continual asking her in person and through text, like, hey, have you done it? Have you signed up yet? Any of that, like, she would get to hear the gospel. And from beginning to end, in a way that was clearly presented through the activities and everything else that was going on. It was all with great intentionality, and she was going to get to experience that.
I remember I got on the bus, and I was sitting in the back with a bunch of seniors who I've never talked to in my life, and they were screaming and like throwing stuff at each other, and I was just sitting there like nervous. The speaker started talking about your father and how some people don't have a father, or some people do, and it's a really impact in their life. And my dad is a really big impact in my life. So I started thinking about how another father could be even more of an impact in my life.
Cabin time was great, but also a little challenging. Just so many girls and one leader.
Cabin time was really awkward for me because I didn't know any of the girls that were in my cabin very well. I only knew like juniors at that point, and I was with a bunch of girls in my grade. I only had 2 friends kind of in that cabin, and so I kind of just sat there and I was scared to talk, and I talked really quiet and nobody could hear me, so they told me to speak up, and I was like really uncomfortable. But then I started hearing other people's stories of people who are girls who I thought were like so pretty and had everything for them, and I realized that they were like just like me.
I wanted to know all of them well, but I couldn't because the numbers. So during cabin time, I just remember Miranda being quiet and not answering a lot of questions, but I noticed that she was thinking about something, and I could see her wheels turning in her head, like what we're talking about, she's thinking about that, she's processing.
Jesus wasn't a topic in my house. It was, you go to church Sunday and you listen to some person talk about this person who you've never met before, and then you go on with the rest of your week and then go back on Sunday. And I didn't really pay attention. So hearing him for the first time and people just talking about him as if they like knew him and could have conversations with him, it was weird. And I started thinking about how people could just talk about like they were friends, and even in my family, like it just wasn't a topic, like nobody talked about it.
I remember praying at Polar Bear for Miranda to be able to clearly see and experience what was going on. And so from club talks to skits to games, that all of that would make sense and that she would come to understand the grace and the love of Jesus and that he wanted a relationship with her.
So I was walking to where I was gonna sit, and I laid down and I closed my eyes, and he asked us to just say, "I want to follow you." And I kind of just said it awkwardly because I wanted to, but I didn't think like anything would come out of it. And I said it, and as soon as I said it, I felt like warm and like, I don't know, like I was a part of something. And I opened my eyes and I just remember seeing everything lighter, like everything, it wasn't as dark anymore. It was like light, and there was like a purpose to things and why I'm here. There's a purpose to why I'm at Polar Bear. There's purpose to the people that are with me, and there's just a purpose to everything. It's not just to live, it's to like actually live your life.
I remember coming home, and the Monday following that, we had Christmas club, so we were all in our Christmas sweaters, even though it was 80 degrees outside. And yeah, I remember she walked through the door to club, and immediately I knew something was different. Her face just lit up, and I knew something was different. But that night, I found out that she had said yes to starting a relationship with Jesus. I invited Miranda to camp, and she said yes. Arrived to Sharp Top, and one of the best weeks of my life and Miranda's life. While we were there, she had said yes to Jesus at Polar Bear, but her faith deepened at camp. Life to the full and joy was seen, and I could see it also through her that she was being transformed into that.
I remember getting there and everyone was like super hyper and like just wanted to get off and run off the bus. But at the same time, I was sad. I felt alone. Even though I was just surrounded with by so many people, I wasn't really happy. I couldn't say that I was happy. I would say camp was fun because everyone there is so nice. You don't have to worry about people judging you. You don't have to worry about people talking bad about you because everyone there is just there to have fun. There was one night where in cabin time, we were all crying, like so bad. And I think that's finally when I got to realize like there's a purpose. And I've kind of forgot that from Polar Bear to camp, which is why camp was probably the best, because I had a realization of like, there's purpose to why you're here. There's purpose why you play sports. There's purpose to the people you meet. And there's a purpose to why people treat you the way they treat you, and it's for you to become stronger as a person, and that Jesus puts you through these things because he knows that you're good enough to get through them. And by the time I left camp, like, I was that happy Miranda that everyone knew, that always had a smile on their face and you could never get a smile off of her face. And I could say that I enjoyed life and I enjoy living now.
My hope for Miranda is that she would know that she is the daughter of the Most High God.
I hope that for other people, if they get to meet Angela and Jesus, that they're not scared, because I was scared of having a connection with other people, and for them to realize that what you're going through and what you're going to go through is a process to get to a relationship that will make you stronger and that will help you through the rest of your life, and just enjoy the process.